Hey, what's up everybody, and welcome back to another episode of News Dose, where I give you all of the latest gaming news, and the Nintendo Switch is getting a huge game pretty soon. This has been widely rumored for a while, but now it's official, and I think Nintendo fans are going to be really happy about this. In fact, Xbox and PlayStation fans should be excited as well. This is great news for pretty much everybody, so we're going to talk all about that today. Also, you know those Silent Hill rumors? Yeah, there's been a lot of talk about Silent Hill coming to the PS5, and according to one insider, this is absolutely, without a doubt, happening. So stay tuned for all of the latest on that as well. First though, per usual, let's go over some of the quick news, and right away, let's talk about Xbox. There is an Xbox sale going on right now. This is for the Lunar New Year, and there are some really good games that you might want to check out. I'm just going to go through this real quick, but I was scanning through the list, and here are just a few games that stood out to me. Immortals Fenyx Rising is 40% off, Yakuza Like a Dragon is 30% off, Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, which just got a big Series X update, is 50%, Control Ultimate Edition, another game that just got a next generation update, is 30% off, Gears Tactics is 50% off, and Ori and the Will of the Wisps is 67% off. All of these are relatively newer games, some of which are only a few months old. There's also two games here that I would highly encourage you to play if you missed out on these in the past, and that's Lost Odyssey and Blue Dragon. These are exceptional JRPGs, especially Lost Odyssey. I believe Lost Odyssey is an all-time great JRPG developed by none other than the father of Final Fantasy himself, Hironobu Sakaguchi. Even though these two games are a little older now, they're still great to this day. If you like JRPGs, these are must-play games, and the fact that you can get Lost Odyssey for just $6 and Blue Dragon for $5, this is an absolute no-brainer. These are great games, and I'd highly recommend them. Now, if only we could get Mistwalker to come back and make a new console game, but I guess there is Fantasia coming to Apple Arcade. Also, while we're on the topic of Xbox, Forza Horizon 4 has now been announced for Steam. Yeah, that's right, Xbox is bringing yet another game over to the Steam platform, and this is a great one. It releases on March 9th, so you're not going to have to wait for too long. I do consider Forza Horizon 4 to be one of the best racing games of all time, and now that it's coming to Steam, I'm expecting a lot of people to jump on this game. You have to remember that when Xbox has ported some of their games to Steam in the past, they went on to be bestsellers. This includes Sea of Thieves, Halo the Master Chief Collection, Flight Simulator, and Grounded. Now, Flight Sim and Grounded launched day one into Steam, but Sea of Thieves and Halo was really interesting because they were ported to Steam years after their initial release, and they still went on to be bestsellers. I do expect something similar to happen with Forza Horizon 4, considering how good this game is. I think it's kind of a testament, though, to just how good these games have always been, and also how big the Steam platform is. I mean, these games were already available on PC, but you know, the Windows Store doesn't really have the best reputation, and honestly, it just doesn't have enough eyes on it from a gamer standpoint. I'm really glad to see Xbox continue this initiative though, and I think it's smart that they continue to bring their games over to the Steam platform. Again, these are fantastic games, and I'm really glad to see them come over to Steam, so check out Forza Horizon 4 when it launches on Steam March 9th. Now, one big topic that we've discussed quite a bit on this channel is the ongoing problems with scalping. If you've been looking for a new console, whether it be the Switch, Xbox Series, or the PS5, there is a good chance that you struggled to find one in stock. Not only are these consoles in high demand, but they're also being targeted by scalpers looking to sell them at an inflated price point. It's gotten really bad this generation with scalpers now using automated bots to buy large quantities of stock. I even asked you all on a poll last week if the government should step in to stop this type of behavior, and out of 4.4 thousand votes, 66% of you said that yes, the government should step in. I mean, this hasn't only affected gamers, but with these consoles being in such high demand, it certainly shed a lot of light on this problem, to the point that the UK is actually stepping in, or at least they're considering it. Now, this doesn't necessarily mean that it will absolutely happen, but the UK minister did say that officials are discussing a proposed bill that would make console scalping illegal. What seems like the main concern is that these scalpers are using automated bots to buy in bulk supply, and I have said that in the past. If somebody just bought an extra console and then resold it, this probably wouldn't be a major problem. Now though, scalpers are getting greedy, buying up hundreds or even thousands in some cases, and that is an issue. If you look at what they're proposing, they do talk about automated bots specifically. They mention that resale of goods purchased by an automated bot should be illegal. There is a fear that with these bots being a thing now, things could get even worse if nothing is done about them. Now, nothing is set in stone yet, and this is only in the UK, but we'll see what happens with this, and then if any other country follows suit afterwards. Honestly, it's sad that it's come down to this, but here we are. Let me know what you think about this, though, in the comments below. Let's talk about the PS5, though, because we got a big game to talk about, but also a really cool attachment for the PS5 controller. You know those PS4 back buttons that Sony made about a year or so ago? Well, now there's a patent similar to that, but for the PlayStation 5 Dualsense controller. This is an affordable option of adding back buttons to your first-party controller, and I do think this is a genius attachment. I am a big fan of putting buttons on the back of a controller, and I was a little disappointed when neither Xbox or PlayStation added that to their new controllers this generation. It's my absolute favorite thing about the Xbox Elite controller and the Valve controller. These back buttons are incredibly useful, not only competitively, but also in a single-player game. As an example, in Demon's Souls, anytime I ran around, I had to use this claw-like grip where I'm using my index finger to run with, I want to say, the circle button. I can't remember if it was the square button or circle, but nonetheless, in order to run and have control of your camera, I have to use an awkward grip to do that. Thinking about it, I might have been able to change the controls, but still, nonetheless, that's where these back buttons are incredibly useful, as you can use these buttons to do things like jump while never having to take your thumbs off the analog sticks. So yeah, it looks like Sony is going to bring that attachment over to the PlayStation 5, and it's an easy recommendation from me. Last generation, they were going for around $20 to $30, which saves you a ton of money compared to some of these custom-made controllers. I'm going to buy this without a doubt day one. Let's just hope they announce this sooner rather than later. Now, as for the big PS5 game leak, we gotta talk about Silent Hill again. There has been a lot of rumors around this game, and speculation has run absolutely rampant. Every time I've seen this game discussed, though, there is a lot of skepticism that this game doesn't actually exist, and it's all just fabricated. Well, insider Dusk Golem, which has a great track record with leaks, especially with horror games, decided to talk a little bit about Silent Hill and what he knows about this game. Of course, this is still not confirmed, and with any leak you should take it with a grain of salt, but with that said, Dusk Golem really has leaked a lot of information in the past that has proven to be accurate. As an example, he was the main source for the Resident Evil Village leak, and he went into great detail about specifics within that game, including werewolves, its characters, a castle-like setting, and plenty of others. All of which turned out to be true, so with that said, he's now saying he is 100% certain that Silent Hill is in development, and it's been in development for 2 years. He, however, is not saying when it will be announced, and he does not know if it's a PS5 exclusive or not. He points out that information is coming from Catharsis, but he did say that Silent Hill is being outsourced by Konami, and Sony at least has the marketing rights for Silent Hill. So that's a lot of information to go over. There has been a few insiders claim that it is a PlayStation exclusive, but I find it interesting that Dusk Golem won't commit to that. He does confirm that Sony has marketing, and it is possible that other people could have misconstrued that for being exclusive, which is where the rumors could be coming from. He seems very confident about everything else he says though, and even notes that he trusts his sources with his life. He, however, does not know the developer or if it will be a PlayStation exclusive. I guess we'll find out about all that when it officially gets announced, but at the very least, I think you should expect this to be a PS5 game when they do announce it, if it does indeed get announced. I mean, we still have to take this news with a grain of salt, but there is a lot of smoke behind a new Silent Hill game. It does at the very least look like this will be happening. And speaking of rumors and speculation, it's been widely rumored pretty much since it was first announced that Crash Bandicoot 4 was going to have a staggered release for the Nintendo Switch. Activision tried to keep this a secret, but they didn't exactly do a very good job at that, and it's now official, Crash 4 will release on the Nintendo Switch on March 12th. This is a huge game for the Nintendo Switch. It was one of my favorite games last year, and one of the better 3D platformers in recent memory. I loved this game when I played it, and I fully expect Nintendo fans to be thrilled about this port. Thanks to its art direction, it should look good on the Switch, it plays phenomenally well, and it's got a lot of content. I think this game fits perfectly on the Switch, and they got the right price this time at $40. If anything, it just adds to an already stacked early year for the Switch. That means you now have Bravely Default 2, Monster Hunter Rise, New Pokemon Snap, and Crash 4 all releasing within the first 4 months of the year. The Switch just continues to be an amazing console, but this is actually good news for the Xbox Series and PS5 as well. That's because this game is also getting a free next generation update for the Xbox Series and PS5 on the same day, March 12th. It's even coming to the PC through Battle.net. Yeah, this is just fantastic news all around. The free update though includes 4K 60 frames per second gameplay, better load times, 3D audio, and if you're playing on the PS5, it takes advantage of those Dualsense adaptive triggers. I might have to go back and play this game again. I really like this game a lot, but everybody has something to look forward to on March 12th. On to the poll of the day though. Since we talked about this yesterday, I wanted your opinion on E3. Do you want E3 to return in 2021 as a huge event? As in, do you want all these publishers to come together and reveal a ton of new games within a single week of the year? And as of this recording, 70% of you want E3 to return. Most of you do not exactly seem to like what happened last year, as the Summer Game Fest was not great. I do agree with that. The Summer Game Fest definitely could have been better. Now, I don't mind if game events are spread out per se, but it seemed like a lot of events were a bit of a letdown for a lot of people last year. I personally thought some of them were okay myself, but for me, E3 is like a gamer's holiday. I've been watching E3 for more than a decade now, and I get so excited about it every year. In the past, I used to watch it with my friends, and it's just such a fun event where all these huge games gets announced. However, we'll see what happens this year and if publishers decide to go to E3 or not. ESA has had some problems in recent years, and it's become very expensive, so things are still up in the air, but it definitely seems like gamers miss it a lot. I can 100% understand that, but no matter what happens, I just hope publishers can put together some good events to be excited about throughout the year. Anyways though, that's it for this episode, but if you liked the video, don't forget the bell notification and subscribe button for more content just like this. Also, if you'd like to support the channel through Patreon, thank you for making this content possible. Peace out.